The Supremes were a Motown vocal girl group, and they were one of the flagship acts for the Motown label. They are the most successful American vocal band ever. So they were their origins were four girls/ladies called Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, Diana Ross, and Betty McGlown. They grew up together in the same housing project in Detroit, and they formed the Primettes in 1959. And they were, at that point, the sister act to a male vocal band called the Primes, who, from the Primes, some of those went on to become the Temptations. They signed to Motown in 1961, that had one member change in the meantime. And they had huge success through the 60s. They particularly had success with the songwriting team of Holland-Dozier-Holland. In 1967, their name was changed to Diana Ross and the Supremes. So Diana Ross had been taking the lead vocal for a while at this point. The suspicion is that Motown boss Berry Gordy wanted to be able to charge twice as much for booking them, because then it sounded like there were two acts, and I had Diana Ross and the Supremes, and that he'd been doing the same with some of the other acts at the same sort of time. In 1970, Diana Ross left for a solo career, and they reverted their name back to the Supremes. They had various lineup changes before they disbanded in 1977, and by then they had released 29 studio albums. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 10th studio album by the Supremes. It was the last before they became Diana Ross and the Supremes, and also it was the last with the songwriting team of Holland-Dozier-Holland, because they left Motown pretty much straight after this album, I gather, over disagreements over how Berry Gordy was handling the label and relationships with acts, etc. This is my first listen to this as an album, but I do know two of the songs on the album. So the first track on the album is You Keep Me Hanging On, which was a #1 hit for the Supremes. And the first track on side 2 in the old vinyl configuration is It's the Same Old Song, which wasn't a hit for the Supremes, but it had previously been a hit for the Four Tops, which is how I know it. The rest is pretty much the same style, but they're not familiar songs. There's obviously changes of slight changes of instrumentation, changes of speed, etc. Diana Ross takes the lead vocal all the way through this album, and she's there's no escaping the fact that Diana Ross has got a good voice. It's silky and it's clear. The two other Supremes, who are Florence Ballard and Mary Wilson at this point, are on 9 out of 10 of the other tracks. But there's also a vocal group called the Andantes, who were used as backing vocals on some of the tracks where all the Supremes were on as well. They had the Andantes, and they were basically session singers. And the band that are playing the music are a band that go by the name of the Funk Brothers, who were the house band for Motown. So the songs are pretty much all about love and lost love. They're, not things that you would be surprised by. I did find it a bit, at times, kind of female passive role kind of stuff, which... in retrospect, is a little bit, but at the time was, very much an accepted norm. If you like Motown, I'm guessing if you're a real Motown fan, you probably already have this album, or if you don't and you're a real Motown fan, I would suggest that this is probably an essential album for you. You're probably going to love it. It's very squarely straight in the Motown mould. If, like me, you're a mild fan of Motown, I found that I particularly like the songs that I know, and the rest is reasonably pleasant, but I'm not jumping up and down about it in ecstasy. So that's what I think. As always, I'd love to know what you think, so please talk to me through the comments box, and that's it from me for now.